What's up, guys? Today I'll be reviewing Undertaker's Streak DVD, and as you all should know by now, this DVD covers all of Taker's matches all the way from his first WrestleMania match at WrestleMania VII all the way to his latest WrestleMania match at WrestleMania 28, and also features a 35-minute documentary covering all of Taker's opponents that he faced at Mania as well. So now before we start reviewing this DVD, let's look at the cover. Here I'm trying to remove the slip-on cover. Doesn't want to come out. Come out already. There you go. Here you have the slip-on cover. You have Undertaker right there, Taker's logo, 20-0, the streak. Go behind it. And there you have Taker right there. And you have a little reading for you guys. Walk the dark and hollow path of who he cannot be buried. There you have a little reading. Hope you guys can see that. It's pretty much summing up what the streak is and some of the opponents that Taker's faced at Mania for this set, and it is TV 14. And that's the slip-on cover. And here you have the main cover. You have Taker. The side view, you have Taker's logo, Undertaker, the streak for this set. Then you have Taker right there just standing. That's the back, and you know, it's pretty much like this. You know, when you take it out of the slip cover, it turns into that. You know, as you can see, it doesn't have any writing or anything. The writing is on the slip cover. Here you open it up, and here you have the match listings for first of all the documentary portion, the beginning, Dark Days, Badass, Deadman Returns, Championship Level, Streak versus Career, End of an Era, and the Streak. And you have all of Taker's opponents, all the way from his first opponent at WrestleMania VII, Jamie Superfly Snuka, all the way down to his latest opponent at WrestleMania 28, Triple H. Okay, now you're gonna have the artwork behind the disc. Behind disc 1, you have all of this. I apologize for the glare. Wow, stupid glare. Behind disc 2, all the art. Go in. There you go. Behind disc 3. And last but not least, behind disc 4. There's Shawn, Triple H, and Taker at WrestleMania 28, and there's the Mania 28 setup behind them. Sorry for stopping the camera there, but like I was saying, this DVD brings a 35-minute documentary, you know, just pretty much focusing on every opponent that Taker has faced at WrestleMania up to date. And the documentary isn't anything too special. It's not even that long. Like I said, it's just 35 minutes. Basically, you know, just running down what the streak is and all of his opponents that he's faced. But for what the documentary was, I really did enjoy it. You know, we started off the documentary with, you know, they start comparing Taker's streaks to other streaks, like in baseball and basketball. You know, they compared it, when it comes to baseball, to the New York Yankees, when it comes to basketball, to the Boston Celtics. And then you have Cena saying, like, he's the New York Yankees of the WWE, and how he loves it that every time that Mania's around the corner, the question comes to mind, who's next to face Taker for the streak? And then you have Big Show saying that when it comes to Mania, you know, he sees Taker as having the huge S on his chest, just becoming Superman for that one night, you know, giving his all. And then we go on to focus on his debut for a little bit. You know, you have JJ Dillon was interviewed for this part, and JJ was saying that it was a surreal moment and that he was there actually live when Taker debuted, and he thought that it was just a surreal moment. And then you have the $1 Million Man saying that even if you're not a wrestling fan, I remember the $1 Million Man is the one who introduced Taker and everything. And DiBiase was saying that even if you're not a wrestling fan, you know, if the name Undertaker comes up, you'll know who that is. And it's true, because look at my friends. Some of my friends who aren't wrestling fans, you know, sometimes, since they know I'm a wrestling fan, they still ask me, hey, does that Undertaker guy still wrestle? So it's true what he said, you know, if you're not a wrestling fan, if you still mention the name Taker, you know, you'll know who that is. And then you go on to talk about his first match, his first WrestleMania match at WrestleMania VII against Jamie Superfly Snuka. And you had Snuka, like a little interview part where he said that he was actually pretty excited to face Taker that night. And then you talk about his second WrestleMania match against Jake the Snake Roberts. And then you would eventually go on to talk about his match against Giant Gonzalez. And then his match with King Kong Bundy. And how this time DiBiase, the man who pretty much introduced Undertaker, wanted to take him out, and he thought that King Kong Bundy would do the job, but that didn't work out as well as DiBiase planned it to be. And then you go on to talk about his match with Diesel, and Diesel in the interview part, he said that he didn't really like working with big men at all. Like, he pretty much hated it. But when it came to Undertaker, because of how athletic and how well he worked in the ring, he loved working with Taker. He didn't have any problem with that. So that's pretty cool. And then you go on to talk about his match against Psycho Sid, and that was Undertaker's first WWE Championship win at WrestleMania, and they were saying how that was a huge match for Taker at that time. And then you go on to talk about his match with Kane, and and you had that little backstory with Kane, how he survived the fire which killed Undertaker's parents as well, and when he came back, he blamed everything on Taker, and that's what set up the match at Mania. And then talk about his Hell in a Cell match with Big Boss Man, and they also were talking about how at that time Taker was part of the Ministry of Darkness as well. Afterwards, you go on and they start focusing a little bit on his badass gimmick, and then they talk about his match against Triple H, and you also had Triple H interviewed there as well. And I don't know if these interviews are up to date. I think some of them, like, they were filmed recently. Like, I think the J.J. Dillon, Ted DiBiase, and the Kevin Nash's ones were. And I think the Shawn Michaels ones as well, but I know that probably Triple H's interview on this DVD isn't from recent time, but in Triple H's interview, he was pretty much saying how he's the unstoppable dead guy, and you can do anything in the match. You can hit him with your hardest shot, and Undertaker would just come back and beat the living shit out of you. And then you talk about his match with Ric Flair, WrestleMania 18, and Ric Flair was also interviewed for this portion, and he was saying how he thought the Undertaker. I couldn't speak there for a sec. Ric Flair was saying the Undertaker. He thought that Taker's performance was great. He loved it, but he was saying that Ric Flair's overall performance was whatever. He didn't think that his performance was that great, and he was saying that how Taker, pretty much carried Flair throughout the good parts of that match. And then you go into WrestleMania 19, where they focus on the handicap match Taker had against A-Train and Big Show. And then you talk about the WrestleMania 20 match with Kane, and Kane was pretty much saying how the Undertaker pretty much sold out. He betrayed himself and became one of us, and that's why he buried him alive. And then when he buried him alive, you brought back the Dead Man gimmick, and they had their match there. And then you go on to focusing on Randy Orton against Undertaker, and how Randy Orton was also interviewed for this portion, and Orton was saying how at the time that was his prime of his career. He had the whole Legend Killer thing going on, and he's like, why not go for the biggest dog he can find at WrestleMania and challenge the Undertaker? And Orton said himself that didn't work out so well as well either. Wow, I cannot talk for some reason today. And then you go on to talking about his WrestleMania 22 match against Mark Henry. And Mark Henry was saying how this was like pretty much to him facing Michael Jordan at what he does best. That's what that match felt for Mark Henry. And he talked about Batista, and Batista said that, going into WrestleMania 23, facing Undertaker was like a dream match for him. And his main goal, and he was pretty sure that this was Taker's main goal as well, was to just steal the show. And, he thought that overall he did a phenomenal job along with Undertaker. And he said that at the end of the night, he pretty much won Undertaker's respect, and that's something that's priceless to him as well. And then he talked about his WrestleMania 24 match against Edge. And, Edge was saying that he went into this match as a fan. Just seeing the spectacle and just seeing that it's Undertaker. He went into this match as a fan. And how he said that this was probably the biggest match in his career. And then you go on to WrestleMania 25. Shawn Michaels, one of the two times that he faced Shawn. And Shawn was saying how he knew that Undertaker had nothing to lose, but Shawn had everything to gain. So, this one moment he can have at WrestleMania just to end that streak would be priceless to Shawn as well. But then, that failed. Then you go into WrestleMania 26, the streak versus career. And Shawn said, I'll put everything on the line. I'll just put my career on the line just to have one more chance at, doing what nobody else could do at WrestleMania. And he would put his career on the line, and of course, as we all know, he would lose. and he retired. And we go on to focusing on WrestleMania 27, him against Triple H. And, this is pretty much Triple H just wanting vengeance for Undertaker ending his best friend's career. And, of course, we go on to the latest WrestleMania Taker competed in, WrestleMania 28. And, in the beginning, they were focusing on how Undertaker was saying, the image of him at WrestleMania 27 just beat down and, carried out of the ring by the fact that Triple H, pretty much killed him throughout the whole match was not something that Undertaker wanted to live all his life thinking about. So he came back to get his vengeance on Triple H. And of course, it would have the Hell in a Cell end of an era match, which was a phenomenal match. And then at the end of the documentary, you have the big question, will the streak ever end? They were also saying how the New York Yankees streak ended, the Boston Celtics streak ended as well. But right now, along with The Undertaker, the streak has complete life. But will it also one day find its person to end it? So, yeah, and then of course you have all the matches here from his WrestleMania opponents. So yeah, like I said, overall the documentary is just a rundown on what the streak is and all of his opponents that he faced. Go get it, definitely. If you're a casual Undertaker fan, you want to have this, definitely go get it. If you just plan on having this for your collection, go get it. If you want to have all of Taker's matches from WrestleMania, go get it. I just would highly recommend it to anybody. So yeah, that's pretty much it when it comes to the Undertaker's Streak DVD. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Peace.